Would clerk please call the roll?
Alderman Strelczyk. Here. Alderman Tlaco. Alderman Meyer.
Here.
Alderman Hanchett.
Here.
Alderman Bach.
Here.
Alderman Parrish.
Here.
Alderman Ryan Anderson. Alderman Pietro.
Here.
And Mayor Kirkland.
Here. We have a quorum. First up, we have public hearings listed, but there are none. On to personal appearances and public comment. Citizens wishing to address the council on any matter not on the agenda may do so at this time. If you desire to be heard on an agenda item, you may be heard when that item is considered on the agenda. Please speak into the microphone at the podium. The time limitation is 5 minutes. Is there anyone here this evening who wishes to speak on any item not on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on to public officials reports. I just have one report. I'd like to thank our city staff for working long through the weekend. They worked untold hours of overtime, pumping sewers out, trying to prevent basement backups, assessing road, river, and personal safety across the city. We've weathered the storm much better than most. It doesn't mean we haven't had impacts, but certainly hasn't been as impactful as Menominee Falls, Milwaukee, West Dallas. So we're lucky and we're thankful for the staff we have to help us get this through. So that's my only report tonight. Mr. City Administrator. Nothing to add? Okay. So thank you to staff. We're still assessing what's going on in the city. If you have any problems, we should be aware of. Certainly, if you've got a basement backup, we like to track that, especially if it originated from the sewer system. We track that to constantly monitor where to improve the sewer system, which we do dedicate tens of millions of dollars to over time to make those improvements, and we are still committed to that. We voted just a few minutes ago on the lift station that Surrey Utilities Commission's commitment to that continued improvement. So we'll move on. We've got a series of we reached out to the Surrey utility. It's posted on the city's website. Yep. Your problems with the sewers and all the Surrey utility, please. If you have an emergency, please call 911. Moving on, we have the consent agenda. We have several sets of minutes of boards and commissions for other staff reports, as well as 1, 2, 3, 4 resolutions. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Roll call.
You got, for example, one that we submitted.
Just your one is money in here. Okay, so we'll do a roll call that was on the consent agenda. Sometimes. Please call the roll.
Alderman Strelczyk.
Aye.
Alderman Tlaco. Aye. Alderman Meyer.
Aye.
Alderman Hanchett.
Aye.
Alderman Bach.
Aye.
Alderman Parrish.
Aye.
Alderman Pietro.
Aye.
Okay, the consent agenda. We have one ordinance first reading. No action will be taken on at this meeting unless there's a suspension of the rules. That ordinance is ordinance 2025-1683, an ordinance amending section 62-10 trim D written for the Mequon municipal code related to the common council approval of signs on public property. That's recommendation forthcoming in the public welfare committee this evening. This is the first reading. What was the recommendation for the committee? Okay, talking that away for next one. We have no ordinances to act on this evening. We have a handful of resolutions, the first of which is resolution 4227, a resolution ratifying a proclamation declaring a state of emergency in response to the natural disaster resulting in historic rainfall this past weekend. So a recommendation was recommended by the committee of the whole earlier this evening. I think there is one request for a potential amendment.
Sure. So assuming that there is no discussion, which of course we are happy to answer any questions or discuss, the recommended motion for the council would be to approve the resolution as presented, with the exception that the final sentence in the resolution based upon the foregoing recitals is resolved by the common council, that the proclamation is ratified with and then add to the end of that sentence with the inclusion of an initial paragraph in the recitals of the proclamation that reads, on August 12th, 2025, the city also experienced a significant amount of fallen trees and tree damage, which would be added after paragraph C before paragraph D of the proclamation.
So when the motion is made, say what the attorney said. It's on the record and recorded, so we don't have to repeat it. Is there a motion to approve? All right. Motion to approve as just as amended by the attorney's words therein. Okay. A motion and a second. Any further comments or questions? And for the record, I didn't change my title from village president to mayor. Copy is it. No, it's the county and correct. The motion is second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That resolution is adopted. Resolution 4222, a resolution rescinding authorization to purchase the 2020 Elgin Whirlwind 1 street sweeper from the Bean Group of Menominee Falls in the amount of $270,399 and ratifying to purchase the 2024 future municipal B65H street sweeper from McCann Industries in Bolingbrook, Illinois, in the amount of $299,345. There's a recommendation for coming from Public Works Committee this evening. Oh, motion, is there a second? A second. Does anyone require any discussion on this item? Hearing and seeing none, please call the roll.
Alderman Tlaco. Alderman Meyer.
Aye.
Alderman Hanchett.
Aye.
Alderman Bach.
Aye.
Alderman Parrish. Alderman Gephardt.
Aye.
And Alderman Strautman.
Aye. Resolution carries as well. On the resolution 4223, resolution awarding the road improvement design contract for Lakeshore Drive and Mequon Road to R.A. Smith, Appleton, Wisconsin, in the amount of $145,000. Recommendation forthcoming from Public Works. Motion, is there a second? Motion in a second. We need any discussion or questions from staff on this item?
Just to confirm that this is for design only, right? And then no decisions have been made on any of those options. And maybe clarify the next steps in the process. Does that come back to the biking pedestrian committee, to public works? You know, how does that, how do we proceed on that as the next steps? Just so everybody is aware of that.
Is to confirm just for the, no decision's been made about the final design. There's a couple different alternatives being considered. And then the idea is that, a couple of those concept designs would be brought to this body or, to Public Works, along with cost estimates. Then at that time, we'll decide, the decision can be made on what can be, designed for final construction. And that was, yeah, right, your second question about the.
And how long does it take?
We're hoping the concept designs can be done by late this fall or early winter. We want to target the early months of 2026 for bidding if possible. That's about the best time to bid for construction, especially with something this scale. So given we don't run into anything with TR, things like that, that's the schedule that's for.
Thank you. Alderman Gephardt.
Just a couple of quick comments. First of all, I want to thank the residents in District 8 for their input and feedback. There's been a very high level of interest in this project, rightfully so. It's a big project. It's going to have a big impact for everybody in the area and other stakeholders in this great city as well. So I want to thank those residents for their input, and also want to thank city staff for being as responsive as you have been in addressing some of the concerns and the feedback that we've gotten, meeting with many of the residents, and certainly the different ways that they were able to go ahead and provide the feedback. So the process is working the way it should, and and look forward to this, continuing down this path and ultimately coming up with a resolution that's going to be best for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. A motion in a second. Is there any other feedback? Please call the roll.
Alderman Meyer,
Aye.
Alderman Picture,
Aye.
Alderman Bach,
Aye.
Alderman Parrish,
Aye.
Alderman Gephardt,
Aye.
Alderman Strelchuk,
Aye.
Alderman Slackle.
Resolution carries too. On to resolution 4224, a resolution authorizing execution of a permit application with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation for the maintenance of pavement markings and symbols on a buffered bike lane along Wauwatosa Road between Mequon Road and Knights Branch Drive. Recommendation forthcoming by Public Works Committee this evening. Wants to second. Second. Thank you, Alderman Bach. One minute, second. Any comments or questions regarding this item? Alderman Bach.
Just a quick thank you to the bike and pedestrian chair, Mr. Massey for his leadership in this and being ahead of this. Sometimes when we're dealing with the state, it's challenging, but he put a lot of work into this. So thanks.
I'll second that. That should get recognized, and we just got done with the comprehensive bike and pedestrian way study required to be updated every 5 years in order to qualify grants and aid. Nice when we produce these documents, the state would consider them when doing new projects like Wauwatosa Road. They don't often look at them because it just drives their cost up. We're using those as planning tools for the future. I would hope that the state would endeavor to do so in the future as well. So, Alderman Meyer.
Question. So we got the section between. Small section between there, nice bridge to Mequon Road. They don't have any other big biking words instead of walking dogs. Is that one section? But
I think the rationale is to get the bike traffic and pedestrian traffic that comes from the southwest out of that part into it up to Mequon Road where they'll then use the sidewalks. It's a connector from the southwest to get them up to the infrastructure that's on in the shoulders. That is the sidewalk where we do allow bike traffic. Only the brave will bike on that one road, so. I've done it, it's very uncomfortable. Any other questions? Is there a cost associated with this? It wasn't listed. Not yet.
Actually, it'll be the opportunity. So the agreement itself does not have a financial.
No. Are there any other questions or feedback or staff on the site? Hearing it being not enough, I'll call the roll anyway. Aye.
Alderman Hanson,
Aye.
Alderman Bach,
Aye.
Alderman Parrish,
Aye. Alderman
Gephardt,
Aye.
Alderman Strelchuk,
Aye.
Alderman Slackle, and Alderman Meyer.
That item carries as well. So picture of that lost in the right spot. Okay, resolution 4225, resolution authorizing execution of a state municipal maintenance agreement. Oh, no, there's one more, yep. Multiple ones. A municipal financial agreement with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation for traffic signal enhancements at the intersection of Mequon and Cedarburg roads and block style crosswalk enhancements on Mequon Road, Cedarburg Road, Riverland Road, River Court Road, Robin Lane, Lilac Lane, and Market Street. Recommendation forthcoming from Public Works. Motion. There's a second. Any comments or questions from staff? Alderman Parrish.
Thank you. I met several months ago with Mr. Gandy, Mr. Weiger, and some representatives of the DOT. So I was very pleased that they incorporated some of our feedback specifically for the raised block style crosswalk enhancements for various crossings on Mequon Road. That was a specific request from some of my residents. There's a lot of people attending the synagogues there. There's a lot of late night walking where it's hard to see people. So many of you have probably get those comments too, just out of concern. One outcome of that there's more that we can do. This is actually a city issue. So if we could continue to, let's look at all those stoplights right at those crosswalks, because apparently it's in our purview to angle those towards the street. So not straight down, but towards the street. So there's more illumination of the crosswalks. That's a Mequon thing, not a DOT. Number two, if you could also relay the feedback that right at the corner of Range Line and Mequon Road where the cemetery is, there actually is no connectivity of that sidewalk. It's such a tight corner because of the light pole, because of the cemetery, because of the road. That, as you know, we're having issues designing a sidewalk on that side of the road. So the issue is just that corner. No way to get people along that one range without being in the grass or the dirt. So on. So I think this is a design issue that the DOT should look closely at and find related to that. Then finally, since this is east of Cedar Brook Road, that means the bridge is part of this project. I think this is a really unique opportunity that you should all be sure to weigh in if you have commentary, or just for some examples. And I have really gotten feedback from residents over the years. Keep in mind that kids from Homestead are going to cross this bridge. It's a very narrow sidewalk on both sides of the bridge. So this is our one chance to see what we can do. How can we make those sidewalks over the bridge on each side a little wider? One idea could be a narrower median. They have a massive median in the middle, so why can't we have bigger sidewalks on both sides? I think we'd be interested in some more separation on those sidewalks from the sidewalk to the road, because the cars are right up near the curb there. So if there's some way to put bollards there, I know they'll have to come down if they're hit, but there's no separation between the road and the sidewalk. So I think pedestrians feel very vulnerable there. And finally, I think they should incorporate some lighting, make this kind of a neat, well-lit bridge as pedestrians are crossing. So I think they have more work to do. Thank you.
But we're happy to share that feedback, but there is no bridge reconstruction. So it's just a resurfacing project, so they will be impacting any of that as a part of this project. So they have heard that feedback from us before, we're happy to share it again, but this particular project's not the opportunity to make those changes.
And then a prime example of what I was talking about earlier, when I wish the state would read our blanket pedestrian plans, because they would not have done a resurfacing project, they would have done a reconstruction project and accommodated those facilities better. It was hugely disappointing that they chose to go this route, but it's hard to control what the state does, because it's the state road, it's their money. I echo some of your frustration. It reflects on our community, and we're not in control of it. All we can do is keep running the DOT, bugging our, more importantly, maybe bugging our state legislators about it. We should have a little more control of what happens there. It's kind of the gateway to our downtown.
I asked if a representative could come to like pedestrian just so they can be familiar with the plan. I don't understand to try to.
Keep trying. We've made some headway with some people within DOT lately. There's room for improvement, but we've had some success. Persistence is the key. Extreme persistence is the key. Okay, we do have a motion for this. Correct. Any further feedback on this item? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That resolution carries as well. Our final resolution of the night is resolution 4226, a resolution awarding a consulting agreement in conjunction with selection process for new SCADA systems to MSA Professional Service Incorporated of Mequon, Wisconsin, in the amount of $27,500. Recommendation is forthcoming from the Sewer Utility District this evening. We can recommend it. And that is here for our final consideration this evening. Is there a motion? Motion in a second. Any final discussion we had to have earlier, elements, problems? My mind was. It was, this is the Sewer Utility District Commission, which has to go to the council. The other is the water utility, which doesn't need to go to council. So okay, that's fine. We're still tracking.
It'd be nice if we listed at 27.
No, this resolution is here specifically for the body that's paying for it. It is a bit confusing to do that split. Are there any other questions? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Alderman Bach.
Aye.
Alderman Parrish.
Aye.
Alderman Gephardt.
Aye.
Alderman Strasser.
Aye.
Alderman Delaco. Aye.
Aye.
And Alderman.
Aye. That resolution passes as well. We have no specified unfinished business in prior meetings. We do have to specify new business. We have a single mayoral appointment for the planning commission for Mr. Oliver Ellsworth, as the second alternate on the commission. Is there a motion to confirm that selection? Should I have a second? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. Ellsworth will start joining us. So starting next month when we get back to the planning commission. Is there a motion to adjourn? Should have been second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Adjourned. Thank you, everyone.